S3 Network.
Bring back that beat, DJ. The DJ saved my life once before, but this DJ ain't on shit. Crank it, man. Turn me up. 21. I sang vacation. And the lady who was running the karaoke, I turned back. I said, "Turn me up." And she looked at me like, "Nigga, who you think you is?" And guess what I sang, A-Trap?
What's that?
Car Wash.
Yeah,
you sang something to get the party jumping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, get the people hyped.
Yeah, she didn't think I was funny when I said, "Turn me up."
All right, welcome back to the Fourcast. It is the Threecast as of right now. Hopefully, we'll get Wilkes in here in just a minute. But man, coming to you to redeem ourselves. We did a horrible job at doing a Prince documentary. There isn't a good one out there. Point blank. Period. And so we're gonna redeem ourselves, and we're doing Purple Rain tonight. This is my first time seeing it, so we're definitely going to give our thoughts and opinions, and join in, give us your thoughts. I'm sure you've seen it. It is available out there pretty much everywhere where you would want to watch it besides Netflix. Definitely not on there. But yeah, this is going to conclude our music review series. We did some really good films, documentaries, Thriller 40, Never Too Much, the Sly documentary. Dog, I don't know if you watched it yet.
I have not.
Yeah, go ahead and watch it, man. It was really good.
It was, man.
Really good. But Purple Rain, man. Let's initial thoughts. Well, actually, if you want to give a rundown on it, Doc.
Oh yeah. Okay. So an overview plot: a victim of his own anger, the kid, played by Prince, is a Minneapolis musician on the rise with his band, The Revolution, escaping a tumultuous home life through music, while trying to avoid making the same mistakes as his truculent father, played by Clarence Williams III. The kid navigates the club scene in a rocky relationship with a captivating singer, that is debatable, Apollonia, played by Apollonia. But another musician, Morris, played by Morris Day, looks to steal the kid's spotlight and his girl. This was released on July the 27th of 1984, with a runtime of 1 hour and 51 minutes. The cast includes the aforementioned Prince, Apollonia, Morris Day, Jerome Benton, Clarence Williams III, which I think is a classic African-American actor, Olga Karlatos, which is a Greek actress, that's who played Prince's mom. She is a Greek actress with a lot of fame there, but this was one of her few American roles. Billy Sparks, which is the club owner, Wendy and Lisa, which you know from The Revolution, also Bobby Z and Dr. Fink that you know from The Revolution as well.
Oh yeah, I was wondering that if the band members, they were actually from the group.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, they were them. That was them. Dad was them.
All right.
You were in contact today, man, or you just can't see?
I can see. I'm good. I don't wear contacts at all, but I can still see.
I wouldn't put nothing in my eyes either, man. I wouldn't.
But you serious?
Yeah, I can't wear contacts. I wear glasses.
Yeah,
I just struggle.
Yeah, Erica wears them all the time. So, but yeah, I'm good. If
looks like you're on that good end though.
If it end up getting blurry, I might have to
Look like you're on that good endo.
Nah,
Sativa.
medicinal purposes. All right, man. So initial thoughts. Purple Rain. We could go to the purple resident himself, the one that used to have a Prince room. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still got the artwork in the attic. Don't know if I want to sell it or save it for something down the road, give it to one of the kids or something like that. But yeah, it is, being as huge a Prince fan as I am, and again, after making the trip to Paisley Park, he vaulted. Man, when I say him and Mike were already neck and neck, man, I just, for my money, even though I'm a fan of monkeys, I think I still would go with Prince. But, so for this movie, obviously I can't believe that you hadn't watched it, but it was a big reminiscence moment watching it. It took me back to when 13-year-old Ivan got to see it, and it was rated R.
Yeah.
This
was not a family film.
Yeah, some of the scenes in it I did not realize it went down like that. Yeah. I didn't remember it. Yeah. And a lot of the things that I remembered about the movie, it seemed like they got to real quick. H-Rap, I don't know how long it's been since you've seen it, but it's like a lot of the things I remembered within the first 20 minutes, they was already present, like it didn't take time to develop over the course of the movie, but still remembered it as fondly as I did before. Obviously the music helps. The club scenes, Morris Day and Jerome in rare form, What's ironic about this movie is they make it seem like Morris is an independent entity of Prince, but Prince actually put him on, Right. So I thought that was a nice little spin, making him the antithesis here, for the in the movie.
Yeah. For me, I was excited to see it. Obviously, hadn't seen it before. I was looking forward to it. I still remember my parents had Prince albums. They had Morris Day albums. So I always seen the albums and really seeing them in kind of rare form. And H-Rap, you was right. I like Morris Day more. Doing this role. The acting was terrible. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say that.
Right.
The plot of the film, though, for Prince, this is something that he wrote, and I was kind of curious, which we'll get into. How close was this to his life, his actual life? Because his dad was a pianist. Mm-hmm. He was in this film.
Pianist.
One or the other.
However you pronounce it. Whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Right.
HBCU dollars at work.
Yeah, I was wondering that aspect of it, but it was good. It had a good plot. Prince obviously did his thing. Morris Day, I think, was a perfect kind of villain. The promoter, he did his role well. But yeah, this was definitely one I was looking forward to.
Hey, Trav, do you remember it like that? For me, I remember it being loosely based on his life. I think that's how they would put it, loosely based. So some of it is true. Like having the interracial parents, I think, is inaccurate. Having the tumultuous home life, meaning, his dad was probably physically and verbally abusive to his wife. I'm pretty sure that was pretty accurate. Mm. And music as an escape was probably pretty accurate, and I'm with the filmmakers that you don't really need to go any deeper than that in terms of trying to make it loosely based on his life. There's no need for more specifics, to say, well, he really didn't shoot himself. He shot in the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, Yeah. So I've always understood that to be, the case, loosely based on his life. So you can kind of take some of it to the bank.
Yeah. Let me get to the chat real quick. SWA Radio, thank you for tuning in. Said, ain't nobody bad like me.
Hey, you know what, man? I used to say that all the time based on this.
Troy Natural's in the building. Thank you for tuning in. And yes, loosely based. Mm-hmm. So thank you for the audience. Give you a round of applause early on. And A-Trap, initial thoughts.
I mean, this was the iconic situation. This was like the first movie of my youth that was semi-biographical. You know, it was like, hey, at the time, like Doc said, at the time, Prince and MJ ruled the world.
Mm-hmm.
So they were one-upping each other. It was Thriller, then it was Purple Rain, then it's the Purple Rain movie, then it was Bad, and you know, so it was a interesting time in music. It was an interesting time in history. This, some movies I don't look at for and go, hey, I don't judge the actors.
Mm-hmm.
I judge the actual, I don't think you judge the actors, you judge the movies. Another movie like this was Crush Groove. Crush Groove was horribly when you look at it now, the
Beat Street too, right?
Yeah,
Beat Street.
I think Beat Street was much better, a better production, but same type of acting, right?
Yeah.
The Last Dragon.
You look at Crush Groove. Crush Groove. If you look at it closely now, it's like a kung fu movie. Like, what do you say? And they,
yeah.
So the editing was horrible,
yeah.
but the premise is what grabs you. And again, as Doc wasn't on the last time we talked about this. This is one of those moments in history where we ran to the movies to support the artist versus, hey man, is this a cinematic classic? It was like, we ain't on the screen. So when we get on the screen, your mama, even though our parents probably knew this was rated R, it was like, yeah, go on, support Prince. It was one of those things. And it used to be, it was an interesting time in history in which when you saw us, we ran to the theaters and supported it. And it was the magnificence of Prince versus the directorial debut and things of that nature. It was just like, hey man, Prince got a movie. We love Prince. Let's go support Prince. So yeah.
And this is kind of similar to me to like Paid in Full. Paid in Full. I mean, that was like the big Rockefeller years, so those guys being in it. I was gonna see that movie regardless. I mean, now they did have Wood Harris in it, so they had some real actors. They had Mekhi Phifer in it, but they had some other having Cameron in it. He wasn't the best of actors, but it was a music film, so I agree with you on that, A-Trap. You could go see that regardless because you're a fan of the artist, not necessarily you trying to see it because you want to see a cinematic.
To a certain extent, it was like going to a concert, man, at a movie theater.
Yeah.
And it gave me some of those feels watching it live, man. Like you forget you watching a movie and, you felt like you was at a concert for a moment,
Yeah. So with the movie opening up and Morris Day running and getting in that car, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be good or bad.
How about him vacuuming in those little shorts and his little headband tie?
Yeah, but man, Morris Day, man, because me and Erica were watching it. Ari was watching it for a minute until she got in that lake, and then we was like, all right, you gotta go. But she was like, man, Morris Day, this was his thing. Like his whole character as an artist was like perfect for this film.
Yeah. And in fact, I guess, we talked about the acting a bit. Him and Jerome, they didn't have to act. They did what they do. That's just them, Right. So, when it comes to acting, I think you would probably Billy, the club promoter, and Jerome and Morris Day probably were as good actors as anybody in it because they were just able to do their thing. And from what I understand, like that's a real deal. Like that's another thing that I heard was pretty accurate is that there is a club there in Minnesota that was like that, Yeah. And just imagine that now. Like there's one in Hollywood. I'm sure there's probably one or two in Dallas around Deep Ellum and stuff like that to where local musicians go and it's famous. I think the Troubadour is what it is in Hollywood to where if you play there, you generally going to go on to some level of success commercially, I don't know what those clubs would be in Deep Ellum, but if I knew them and they were some artists that I liked, some R&B, maybe even some alternative rock or some stuff like that, I'd probably go check it out. If there's a venue like that one around and you could go see a couple of acts, I would be in line,
Yeah, hey, well, it's probably like Gas Monkey Grill.
Monkey Bar and Grill, yeah.
Yeah, I went to a
Pretty
concert there, and it looked almost, obviously this is outside, but
Yeah.
it looked very similar to that venue, which
Mhm.
is an actual venue. It's First Avenue and 7th
Yeah.
in Minneapolis. So that was an actual spot. Wilkes.
Yo, how's it going?
Man? What's going on, man?
I look dead. I was napping.
Wow.
My daughter had me busy, but I'm good. I'm back.
I got you, man. Gotta be on your duties.
Yeah.
First of all, Keisha, with that Abby photo, man, I was laughing. I was like, "Who is that?" And then I was like, "Oh, that's Eddie." And was that Nutty Professor probably when he was working out.
Mhm.
But I was sitting here thinking, why would Ben say paid in full? Then I remembered you probably weren't born when this came out. You said 1984, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was 2, so
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Shaka Strong in the building. Thank you for tuning in.
Ben was still shitting his drawers when this came out.
Drawers.
He still had that plastic on the mattress. I just got through listening and doing the bird.
Yeah, that's one of the great club dances of all time because everybody can do it. It's like the Humpty Dance. Like I was at a concert with Digital Underground. The entire Reunion Arena was doing the Humpty Dance because everybody could do it. Yeah. So that's a fantastic club dance.
She said the venue Sandaga 813 or 813.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I think I've been there once before.
All right, so Wilkes, we just kind of did initial thoughts. Give me your thoughts, man. Purple's Rain.
Man, I just can imagine they probably had fun making this. I would love to see if there was any bloopers with this because Morris Day with his crazy self.
Oh yeah.
Him and Prince going back and forth, but I enjoyed it. I've seen it numerous of times. Mom had it on VHS, and I feel like she drugged me to the movie theaters to see this when it came back to the movie theater or something like that. But great movie. I mean, I enjoyed it. Of course, like I said, seeing that motorcycle was a memory for me because Prince and his superpower once again. But he was just that guy.
He's driving that street bike like a dirt bike. Wasn't he? Like, what the hell is you doing, man? Jumping the motherfucker. Come on, bro.
Yeah, he was serious with this bike right here. He was serious.
Man. Yeah, he drove it.
He had that bike at Paisley Park. I think it was part of the pictures that we posted.
Yeah, I saw you post that.
It's a little bitty bike. It's like a 600 or something.
I was like, is this like a moped or a motorcycle?
Like a little 500. Yeah, what did you expect him to ride? He ain't gonna come on no 1,000 Harley. Shit.
No, hell no.
He can hold something up.
Like you on a Hayabusa out here or something. But I enjoyed the movie. It was good to see it. Like I said, I've seen it so many times. But here's the funny thing though: as many times as I've seen this movie, why didn't Clarence Williams always register with me every time he was playing? What you mean? I don't know why I didn't remember that was the plan that he was playing the dad. I don't know why it never clicked.
It was such a spooky role for me, man. He played the shit. Now you talk about acting. He gets a gold star for acting in this, man. He played the shit out of his role. Clarence Williams is an underrated actor as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, absolutely.
He's got some iconic roles that are for our community. He's played in a lot of our stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, and I don't know why I just kept each time I saw it, and I guess this one for some reason, just why I'm like, why does his character his character is very significant, prominent in this role? Why didn't I connect that? As big as he was and is, or was, but it's just like, okay, but I enjoyed it. Great.
He slapped the shit out of Prince, didn't he?
Man.
Did Prince do like a backflip?
He slid across the floor. I'm like, damn. He slapped the shit out of his son. My kid better not never say nothing to me.
Don't you ever step up on me again. You know what I'm saying? But when I seen Clarence Williams in this, I was like, wow, this is it kind of made me think like, all right, this is legit. Because I thought it was maybe just like Prince and his artist, kind of one of those type of films. When you see,
because I guess outside of everybody else is acting, Clarence Williams had to be the biggest name on the on the
and this is the second film.
Yeah,
his first film was The Cool World, and then the second film was this Purple Rain. So
really,
yeah. Now he did Mob Squad.
Definitely big for Mob Squad. Yeah. Solid.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to register that Ben hadn't watched it. Like, I don't even know what a life would be.
Oh man!
Without having that in the memory banks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, this was
or spank banks if you bring Apollonia into the thing.
Man. I digress. Chili sauce.
Yeah, how could you not? I mean, being because you would have been heard about it, I'm sure. Why would it never, cross your radar? Maybe when he passed away, right? Surely some network decided to start playing at that whole weekend or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I've seen, like I said early on, my parents had most of the Prince albums, had the Tom albums. It just didn't. I don't know. It just never clicked to actually take time to find it and watch it. Now, if it was on USA or something, and you change the channels. If it was on, Sunday when they play those movies, after I probably would have watched it, but it just seemed like I never came across my algorithm, I guess.
Yeah, and there's a big studio. I want to say it's Warner Brothers, if I'm not mistaken. It's a pretty big studio.
She became a preacher before she bought the farm, right? I don't know about that. Apollonia?
Bought the farm. Who says that, man? You got too many white friends.
All right, so so the time they're performing at the beginning of it, and that their performance, like when you're watching that, you grooving. I don't care what era it is, I don't care what time it is, pun intended. I don't care when. Like
you pretty much
10 years from now, you still be doing the bird.
Yeah. And that's his show. Like I saw him at he toured with Rose Royce, Rick James, and Tina Marie. And maybe at that outside venue near Fair Park in South Dallas. I can't remember what it's called. Wilkes. It's changed names a couple of times.
Oh, it went from Starplex.
There you go. It was probably Starplex at the time.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine who ran the Majestic Theater got us some tickets with some backstage passes and some Crown Royal access, and it was a show, man.
Yeah.
It was a show.
Yeah.
And I remember, in speaking of that, like I remember those commercials showing like Morris Day and the Times coming in concert and being at the Starplex or Union Arena, So I remember seeing that stuff on TV as a kid and those things being advertised. Definitely a big deal. People that were still touring, just seeing those commercials like the Gap Band and hell. Even Kool and the Gang was still coming through Dallas at that time. So that definitely brings back memories, just seeing that. Not be able to get there, but as a kid, noticing just the fact that those music groups were still moving through the circuit.
And this A-Trap, I want you to comment on this. This had like some "I'm gonna get you sucker" type comedy. When the lady come up to him and was like, you didn't call me, and he just picked her up and threw it in
the trash.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I think that was like he was a local superstar, and that's what I took from this movie. Like with Morris with the manifestation and the hair, and he was manifesting superstar. Because remember, when you as we go along with the movie, we'll see that they were graduating to the next level by the end of the movie. So I didn't take it as a funny thing. It was just like, man, I'm too big for you. Move along. Like,
poof, you gone. Yeah. Now in real life, at this point in time when the movie came out, was Morris Day in the time, or did this movie elevate him?
They still had an album drop.
They had a bunch of. They had like at least 5 or 6 hits at that point.
Yeah, those songs, The Bird, Jungle Love, a couple other ones. They was, it was a thing. They had enough to be able to put a concert on, to be the opening act for a concert or the second act for a concert.
Yeah.
And they're gonna get the party jumping too.
And I feel like they were on an episode of Soul Train at one point.
Yeah, they were on Soul Train a couple times.
Like the Jerome with the mirror and all that other stuff. That's what it is. And Morris Day with the comb and shit, checking and shit. And that before you do the bird, that's all legit,
So Jerome was in the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was in sauce.
Like shit, if you didn't try to do chili sauce, you at the club and they played that, boy, look at how many times I done twisted an ankle trying to do chili sauce shit.
HIB was during this time. Was you trying to do the dances now?
I
was a fighter, man. I was a lover. He was a
pop blocker, man. Man, this time I was full blown pop block.
Yeah, man. But
the thing is, being the month before Beach Street came out, the month before it.
So yeah, you gravitated more towards that.
Yeah, that was
everybody shit, and our demographic, man. Everybody he had. I'm gonna tell you right now, H-Rap had a piece of cardboard that he stored. Under his bed, on the side of the house, and we pulled that some bitch out.
Yeah.
Well, no,
baby. If your pose wasn't right after the spin, your spin could be half-assed, but if your pose was right at the end, shit,
man, you ain't coming up with the
bring it on, man.
He was feeling it.
Take your cardboard up, man. Your pose was right.
I always spun about a time and a half around shit, but because I was too heavy, the cardboard was on, But shit, that pose, nigga, you can't touch my pose.
Gotta come with the pose, baby.
Like I said, it's competition between the Revolution and the time in the movie was loosely based on true events, which we actually I felt like we've seen this in some documentary we watched where it was a back and forth, or maybe that was Hint. No, that was Prince.
Yeah, but if you look, so Prince put
Rick James
Morris Day on, that was Rick James and Prince. But you can tell that by if you look at Morris Day and his band members, with the exception of Jerome, you can even see their hairstyles and stuff were very similar to what the Doctor, Lisa, Wendy, all of them, Bobby Z, all of them had that kind of look,
Yeah.
So and I want to say same thing with it wasn't Morris Day in the time who started Apollonia and Vanity. I want to say that was Prince's groups too.
No, it was not. I'm sorry, dog. That's wrong.
Yeah, no, Breaking wasn't better than B Street.
Breaking was, no offense to our audience, Breaking was too white. Eric Belafonte made B Street.
Wow, Breaking was not.
Larry David made Breaking.
Wow. It's Seinfeld.
Vanity was first. Nasty Girl, Apollonia in the movie, I think.
Yeah, that was supposed to be Vanity from Vanity 6, but Vanity.
See, Prince is the one who actually formed Apollonia in 6, and Vanity. Just in the movie, they showed that it was Morris Day.
Morris Day.
Yeah. A year before this movie came out in 1983.
Yeah, because
is when Apollonia came out.
Like Shaka Strong, Shaka. Well, I know Shaka was right. After I thought about it, Vanity was the one who became a pastor and bought a farm, but then she actually bought a farm, and then, as Keisha mentioned, she bought the farm.
She bought it.
She got her wings. But I as I thought about this, Prince was writing all the time's music.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe the time is loosely based on Prince's other rival in another direction, which is Rick James, because Rick James is the coolest dude in the world at this point. So maybe the time is to throw people off the scent that I'm copying Rick James.
Quite possibly, yeah.
And if you look at some of the track listings, because I just looked up some of the tracks for Morris Day and the time, and it's like Prince is like playing he played like a tambourine on one. He did something else on other. He's doing
that was his group.
Yeah.
He started
like ahead of his time.
He started Vanity 6 in 81. He started Apollonia in 83.
Well, that's why they were saying. That's why I was saying he was taking his cues from Sly and the Family Stone, because he's going back and forth.
Like Sly. Look at his hair. You look like Sly.
Yeah, yeah. They're going back and forth, and they're writing these notes, playing these instruments, and hey, well, you singing the wrong note, or you playing the wrong key, you know. So
and just slight correction, Prince started Morris Day in the Time in 81 and Vanity 6 in 81, and then came back with Apollonia in 83. So
Did
they were all
and Apollonia have similar members? It was two completely
different. No, they were two different members, but let me just say this. He has a type.
Yes.
Okay. He has a type. And then Sheila E. was his girl. Yeah. And they all in the same vein. Yep. He has a type.
Oh, yes. Now, now the chick, y'all gonna have to help me out here, because I always got this chick mixed up. This isn't the same chick from the last Dragon.
That's Vanity. That's right.
Okay. That's right. All right.
So yes and no. All right. Yes and no.
Yeah. We got to do. I don't know. We got to do the Last Dragon, man.
No,
I'm with it. I'm with it. Yes, sir.
The Last Dragon, really?
I'm with it. Yeah. That's got anything that's got such relevance to the community, man.
Hey, man. Who's the master, man?
But since we've been so much on Vanity 6, Apollonia and stuff, Ben, I think it's time we bring back an old segment for this show, this particular episode.
It is Beauty of the Week.
Beauty of the Week is a segment brought to you by nobody.
Yo, mama.
Nobody.
So Beauty of the Week, for anybody who's new to the show, is a segment that used to be my segment, to where if there was a beauty in the movie, which if you're trying to sell tickets, generally there was. But ever since this ring got put on my finger, I discontinued this segment because I wanted to keep this ring on my finger. And if you know my wife, you can't tell by looking at her, but she a killer. So I wasn't playing. But in this movie, when you got such beauty as Apollonia, you gotta kind of address it. You can't just ignore it, you know. And as Ben said, when she got in that lake, his daughter had to leave the room.
Pause. You can go. You gotta go in the room.
Okay, you gotta go. Yeah, you can play the tablet now. You can play the tablet now. Now I neglected to upload photos of Apollonia here because this was a last minute kind of thing, you know, just to pull back the curtain on producing and whatnot. But I just need the world to know that Apollonia ain't got shit on my wife. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just telling you right now. Apollonia was what that was, but you better check with Bonnie Pearl about Miss Aaliyah Dawkins right there. You understand? Apollonia. Now, at 1984 Ivan, you had me, Apollonia. But she at 53-year-old Ivan, I'm going to take Miss Dawkins. You hear me?
Hey.
You hear me, baby?
Yeah.
And I get out the doghouse now.
Hey, like Linnell Grant making deposits.
Yeah, you better ask Bonnie Pearl.
Trying to cash in.
You better ask Bonnie Pearl about Miss Dawkins. But yeah, back then, man, Apollonia, Vanity 6. Who said it in the comments right here? It was SWA Radio, I believe. Yeah, he said Vanity was first, Nasty Girl, Apollonia in the movie, I think. But somebody had said, like, it was a thing. Okay, the white folks was talking about Mary Ann versus Ginger. We was talking about Vanity versus Apollonia.
Right.
You know, that's just what it was. You know,
yeah.
They were the standard bearers in 1984. You know, and again, hey, A-Trap, I was 13. Well, about to be 13, 12 and a half. Right.
Yeah, July, what did you say? July of 84. Yeah, I was a month away from being 40.
So my jeans would be real loose when I went to school, but they'd be real tight when I got home. But anyway, so that's our Beauty of the Week segment. We don't have a Beauty of the Week anymore because I got a Beauty of Life, Miss Aaliyah Dawkins. One more time for the cameras. There she is. She pointing at, that's her probably fussing at me right there.
I'm about to say, she like, I ain't got that picture right.
Yeah, that's right there. So anyway, but yeah, before I met her, Apollonia was first.
Or was.
Shout out to Bonnie Pearl.
All right. You got to shout out to wifey, especially if she watching.
Yeah, no, she watch every week. She's a supporter. She is a BS3 network supporter. If it wouldn't be a crime, we would nominate her for supporter of the year, but we don't know if she's doing it because she thinks she got to or she really likes us. I don't know. She listens.
One or the other, somewhere in between. All right, so the first performance Prince and the Revolution did was The Beautiful Ones, which every song, I mean, to be on the set for this, what, like you said, Doc, was being at a Prince concert for free.
Yeah,
maybe they got paid. I don't know. It was extras, but
it was
definitely track list. Beautiful Ones, When Doves Cry, I Would Die for You, which he did, and then The Time doing there. Let's Go Crazy was actually the first one, and that kind of opened it up. That was the film. That was the song of the film, kind of the go to.
Yeah.
But talk about the track list and the music. I'm coming to A-Trap first. I know music is not your thing.
He couldn't avoid it in this one.
It was coming right at you.
This is when, like we said, Prince and Michael Jackson was holding the court at this point. Thriller was a year old, year and a half old. He dropped this album. It was music videos are coming on the scene, so they just taking pieces of the movie, creating music videos from them. This was a wonderful time in music because you still had actual instrumentation instead of just a bunch of sound. Even though Prince did use a lot of electronic sound, like when you hear "Do Me Baby" and things of that nature. I mean, "Take Me With You." It's a lot of electronic sounds with that, but by and large, Prince uses actual band and Revolution. It was like, this was a wonderful way to, like, if you had never really grasped Prince, like, this is my introduction to Prince. You heard him, you heard 1999 and other things, but this is my true introduction to him. So it was a wonderful time in music. It was a wonderful time in cinema. It was one of the, like, Isaac keeps referencing the culture. This is the beginning of the culture for me. You know what I'm saying?
Where we came into the realization and awareness of it in a full way. Yeah.
Right. This was the introduction of it. So this was a wonderful situation for me.
Hey, and arguably maybe one of the best soundtracks ever. Because this soundtrack was kind of doubled as an album, as his album, right? It wasn't the same.
Yeah, it was. The Purple Rain album was
And to back that up, it actually got nominated and won the Oscar for original song score. So this is a Oscar-winning soundtrack. To your point, and I think about soundtracks like "The Harder They Fall," and back in the day. Now Wilkes may be more into this than me, but like your Caddyshack and your Kenny Loggins. Like Kenny Loggins was the go-to guy for all those 80s movies, right? Like Caddyshack, and then you got those like St. Elmo's Fire and Pretty in Pink and The Breakfast Club, and so soundtracks were hot and heavy back then, and like they would get people, artists, just to write songs for the movie, that in turn, if the movie did well, generally those songs became big hits for them. Ghostbusters, right? What was the guy named Ray Parker Jr.?
Ray Parker Jr.
As a result, would Ray Parker Jr. would have hit anything if it wasn't for Ghostbusters?
Exactly, yeah.
So, but yeah, this was one of the best of all time, and you could see that Prince really enjoyed performing, man. He loved music, man. You can see it in his performance. When I visited Paisley Park, you can see it in his his studio. Him and Michael Jackson had similarities into the fact that they would record different vocals for that track. Like, you know, they would not only be singing the lead vocals on it on the recording, they would be singing backup vocals on it as well, you know. So you'd be getting 2 and 3 layers of their voices, you know. So yeah, the dynamics of their studios, man, and stuff like that. This dude loved music, and you could see it in his performance. And that was one of the reasons why he got hooked on them painkillers, because his hips was bad, you know, because the way he performed, you know.
Yeah. Keisha says, "Darling Nikki and the Beautiful Ones was and are still
the goodness."
So the season queen, if y'all hear during my introductions on Queen 3 and King, I'll call her Darling Nikki sometimes because she took on that moniker in '84 because her name was Nicole, nicknamed Nikki. Yeah. So she would say Darling Nikki. Now, my mama didn't know what the hell it was all about because she probably wouldn't have allowed the shit, you know. But yeah, she called herself Darling Nikki. Yeah.
Ray Parker Jr. had that one hit, "A Woman Needs Love."
Yeah, so you got me on that one.
No, you got me on that one.
All right, Wilkes, the soundtrack, track list. Right.
Yeah, no, I remember having the vinyl. I remember having this, and it was just one of those things where this is, you know, anytime I see that cover or I hear Purple Rain, whether it's the movie or the song, it's one of these things where it's just, it's big. It's bigger than probably more than what Prince thought it was going to be. And for the fact, like he said, you know, they pretty much had a free I mean, I don't know if it was free, but maybe it was a free concert. I don't know. I mean, they might have been extras, but dang, I mean, you get
you got a front row and a small venue too.
Right, exactly. So, and of course, I thought about the sound because how Doc was saying, you know, how Prince was definitely key with making sure everything sounded great and everything sounded awesome. So I'm sure in that venue, it wasn't any short of a miracle that it probably sounded great. So yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I think it is one of the top soundtracks, albums. I mean, if it's in a countdown, I'm sure it's listed. A few of these songs are listed. I know it's in there because it's definitely I don't know. You could say it's a bookend to the 80s. I don't know. You got Thriller on one end, you got Purple Rain on the other, and everything that falls in between. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was great hearing those songs again. And I'm pretty sure they were out of order, but I wouldn't expect them to have them in order, which would be interesting if they were in order. And if I'm not mistaken, this album contains a song that is being recorded backwards. I think it's at the end of Purple Rain or something. One of them are recorded. Something's recorded backwards in one of these songs.
Didn't he play that when Apollonia was over there?
Yeah.
I think he was.
She like thought she was crying, and he was like, "Yeah, she's actually laughing." It's playing backwards or something.
And it's on the actual album. So yeah, no, it was great. I mean, it's great memories for me.
And to your point about the free concert, that would track with how he did in Paisley Park, because again, if you lived in the Minnesota area, if you were a part of the right circles, you would get notifications, free concert tonight at Paisley Park for the first however many can get there, man. Yeah. And I mean, just imagine that, man, in 2010. You know, being able to just pop in the Prince's spot and get a free concert in such an intimate venue, you know.
Yeah, insane. And you're showing those different stages too. So
So there were some that were much more intimate than others, you know, and like full bar and all that other kind of stuff. So you're not just in there standing around. Shit, you're probably getting drinks, and I would imagine he ain't charging you for it.
Right.
You follow me? I would imagine, you know. It's just, you know, but that again, all of it supports his love of music, man. And you know, there's a saying, and I don't know if it came up during one of these documentaries that we did, but it says, "Give me my art, and I'll give you my life." Yeah, you know. They gave him music, you know, and he gave his life for it. You can't, you know, you can say that about Michael Jackson. You can say that about so many, Luther Vandross, you know, give me my art. And I think that may have been where it came up. Give me my art and I'll give you my life. And so many of them did it, you know.
Yeah.
And I missed last week. Sly was great. But.
Yeah, man. That was really good. If you have not seen that, it's called Sly Lives. It's available on Hulu. Again, shout out to Questlove with another great one.
He may be digging himself a little lane out, a little niche out, for that. There's a cat, I can't remember his name, it's on the tip of my tongue, but he has documentaries such as Baseball and a couple of other ones. You may be familiar with him, Wilkes, because they talk about him on the ticket all the time.
Yeah, I think I know.
He does a lot of documentaries, this white cat, and he's got himself.
What's that guy's name? I think I know you talking.
He does a lot of the baseball.
Yeah, his name is at the tip of my tongue, but Questlove may be, digging out a little niche for himself in this arena, man. Especially that's it, Ken Burns.
Yes.
He's. I mean, when it comes to documentarians, he is one of the best. And as far as I'm concerned, if Questlove keep putting them out like this, like Summer Soul and Sly, man, that's.
I mean, and what better person to do it than Questlove, somebody that is in one of the best hip hop bands, groups, the Roots, of all time. So I mean, he's so involved in all parts of music. So I think he's a great. And A-Trap, you mentioned I think something last week what he should do next. I don't know. You remember what you said?
I said he should do Stevie Wonder, man.
Oh yeah, that would be great, man.
While he's still alive. I mean, we can make these documentaries now.
Yeah, were you at Men's Fellowship when Stevie Wonder was there that night? Yeah, talking about fights. So imagine this: Ben and I walking into Men's Fellowship at church one Friday night, and guess who's sitting up front? Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
Just talking about stuff.
Yeah.
And Wonder Love, that guy, he was there. I guess that's his handler, so to speak, whatever. But one of the funniest things about Stevie Wonder, A-Trap, which I wonder if they would cover something like this, when he was in blind school, so Pastor had asked him, have you ever got in a fight before? And Stevie Wonder said, hell yeah, I got in a fight. And he said, Steve, we at church, man. He go, oh, I'm sorry. He goes, hell, I don't know where I'm at. Right? Because he's blind. So he's funny too. Okay. And so
I think I expected him to be like just mellow, just
he's funny.
He's funny though.
Outgoing. He wasn't just doing it as a favor, and I really don't want to be here. It's like he wanted to be there, And so he goes, have you ever been in a fight? He goes, hell yeah. He goes, when? He goes, how you gonna fight and you blind? He said, well, we was at the blind school and we were sitting on this bench, and I guess Dr. King had just got assassinated, and the white cat sitting next to him said something about it. So they got in a fight, and he goes, how you see to get him? He goes, hell, I felt for him. And when I got a hold of him, I didn't let go. He said, who won? He goes, hell, I won. He goes, Steve, quit cussing. We at church. So yeah, I would love a documentary on Steve.
Oh yeah, yeah, we need that. We need that.
Yeah, man.
What's up, Blue Streak? Thank you for tuning in. She said, hey.
Great. Look at her. Look at the little picture she done got up there with the Blue Streak.
Did y'all see when Michelle Obama turned Stevie loose on stage?
Stevie ain't blind. Hell, everybody know that.
Stevie ain't playing, man. Stevie ain't playing.
Yeah, somebody trying to hand him the mic. He's like, nah, hand me that mic.
I'm good.
Yeah, one celebrity said they got on the elevator. Stevie Wonder was on there one time. And he goes, what's up, Steve? He goes, what's up, Mike? How you know who I am, man?
I saw you when you got up.
Man. We lost A-Trap. We'll get him back in a minute. Man, I wanted to talk about how multifaceted this film was. Obviously, you had a music aspect of it. He's rising up in his career. Then he comes home and you got his family aspect with his parents. Then he's trying to date somebody, and then he's trying not to be like his dad.
He started on the pimp hand.
Yeah. And then you got just the mental aspect of trying to make it. In this industry.
Hey, you want to talk about layers? One of my notes was Morris Day had a heart. You notice at the end when he was clowning him, that was one of the biggest. Okay, you talk about culture, our culture, pop culture, whatnot. But how's the family? You know how many times I done said that, in life, But in that same scene, if you follow it, he goes around the corner when all the rest of his band keeps walking and sits and feels bad about what he said, you know? So when you talk about layers of this movie, some deeper than you may have caught.
Yeah. Hey, Trap, you want to touch on that?
Oh yeah, I mean, what I really appreciate it is it's art versus finance. You know, it's what we struggle with in music today. Do you want to do this to get paid and be famous, Morris Day, or do you want to express yourself? And can I naturally express myself and get the crowd involved? So that's exactly what you see in this movie. You know, pop versus soul. You know, hip hop versus R&B versus soul music or funk. Am I doing this for the fame, or am I doing this for the artistry? And the struggle you have when you are a true artist, digging into, you know, exposing yourself to the world. Say, hey, this is who I am. Almost like a comedian. I'm gonna walk into this room and I'm gonna get you to buy into me. Right. And Prince was trying to get people to buy into him. And Morris was like, look, I'm gonna rock this house. And people gonna love me, and I'm gonna take this on the road, and I'm gonna be the man. But Prince is like, nah, I can rock the house, I can make those songs, but I want you to see who I am through my music. So that was the beauty and that's the beauty in the expression of music, the art of it versus substance versus style. Yeah.
And Erykah Badu said it best when she said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. She just said what you know, hundreds of artists have felt their entire careers, you know.
Right. Wilkes?
Yeah, no, I think it was kind of like what H-Rap said. It's more of giving you those different layers of, hey, you know, yes, I've got things going on at home. They said in the movie, you know, keep your personal life off the stage. But I mean, if he's a writer, he's in that moment of penmanship. So, you know, he's writing these songs. I got to include these things that, you know, affect me. And okay, so it may touch somebody else when I write this song or play this song. So, I got to include that in my writing. So, it was definitely a lot of layers going on, from dating and what was going on at home and what was going on at the club, because the boss man was riding his back. But I tell you about these one performance shows.
Yeah, the one song. I about had enough of this one song shit. Or what's up with this one song shit, kid?
Don't that look like the dude that was the uncle off a house party?
That's exactly right.
Is that the same
was
guy?
asking for another Dick Gregory.
I don't know. I never looked into who that guy was.
They're different guys, but I see the similarity. And talking about layers too, they did a play on the Who's on First Laurel and Hardy skit with the What's the Password. You know, a lot of people don't know. That's the only skit like that they know is What's the Password, but that's a play on Laurel and Hardy's Who's on First, you know?
I don't know who's on first. Who's on first? The guy that's on first.
And then when Morris Day sits down with Apollonia and he just trying to game her up and that was hilarious.
Give me the finest bottle of champagne. Who's gonna pay for it? You know who's gonna pay for it.
And see, that takes me back to the song. That takes me back to those songs that the time has where he's like, dang, baby, when you got me jeans? He's like, just help me get these off. I'm trying, baby. I was just hearing that banter on the track and watching this is just like, make sure you bring my change back. Make sure you get my change.
Thank you for tuning in, Doretha. Loving the photo with the
Doretha Clan.
Appreciate you. All right, so
somebody in Doretha family know how to cook. Shit, they know how to cook some dressings, some collard greens and shit. You ain't got no name like Doretha if your family can't cook. I know that. They got giblet gravy, yams, all of it.
Giblet gravy.
Somebody got the key to something. Somebody got the secret. Secret to the South.
And kind of going to Prince and just his. This was similar to him in real life, like we kind of already talked about how the songs that he made was what he wanted. He didn't take like the girl was like, hey, here, you know, play this song. And I would imagine that he wasn't one of those that would take songs from somebody else because he was doing his own.
I couldn't know for sure.
In his own.
I don't think there's any way for us to know for sure But I would imagine that part of it, I'm pretty sure that part of it probably was pretty accurate. That I ain't finna take nobody. No,
That's
what I've been doing, been working fine.
Right.
It's the first song he ever performed that he didn't write.
Oh wow.
Which one?
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. Oh.
Yeah.
The song Lisa and Wendy's music is the first time he ever used anybody's music.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna sing a song to a girl, that's how you sing that motherfucker, ain't it? When Morris Day was trying to get with her and he sang that song to where even the dude know, God dog,
It's over.
It's over, yeah. It's a wrap.
Yeah. And he laying on the ground and laying down like this and kicking his feet, man. The performance, level was crazy.
Now, what I didn't know, there was another guy band there that wasn't the Revolution, wasn't the Time. Do anybody know who that other? You remember that one band that played? I think that one played.
That's Mickey Free in his group.
Really? Okay. I missed that one.
This for you, Doc.
I've been listening, but couldn't interact. But I have to say, did this Negro just say Jimmy? I did. Ready, Ken. And she confirmed, and Doretha confirmed it. I know you can't have no name like Doretha. You can't cook.
Snapping peas on a Saturday night.
How come you don't call me anymore? Maybe you want to call him.
What?
He said, "How come you don't call me anymore?" It made me want to call him. That's something in the.
Oh, that song.
Oh, the song.
That song that he sung.
Yeah.
For the record, that's my aunt.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Appreciate you for tuning in.
Did y'all see that old bag of Doritos?
Yeah.
A lot of folks don't know Doritos used to be designed like that.
Yeah, I was like, dang.
I figured A-Trap and Whips would have caught it.
Yeah, I was like, dang, that's old school right there, man.
Yeah, it's an old bag of Doritos. That's how Doritos used to be. A lot of folks don't know Doritos first came out. It wasn't no nacho flavor.
Nope.
It was just
tortilla flavor.
Tortilla.
Taco flavor.
It had like some tortilla nacho flavor or something like that. Yeah.
And that old bag.
I was like, dang, that's classic right there. And the funny thing is, I thought they brought those back for a little bit.
Yeah, they did. They sure did.
In Chicago.
Yeah. I was like, man, that's old school right there.
That's very 80s. This whole movie, the cars. I know you paid attention to the cars in the scenes.
Oh, you know I did.
From the Cadillac that Morris Day now was driving to all the cars out there. Seeing the scenes passing by. It was all very 80s, very boxy design cars and stuff.
Oh yeah.
The style, obviously, the clothes and everything. It was definitely that era.
Yeah. And Prince, what I liked about it, and I didn't give him enough credit back then. I don't think Prince was getting enough credit for his being a guitar phenom back then. He was so talented with his dancing and his music ability and I don't think they gave him enough credit, but he was showcasing his guitar in this movie. Yeah, and we still weren't talking about it then.
Nope.
Until he played on My Guitar Gently Weeps. And I saw that a couple of years ago. That was my first time really diving into the fact that Prince can play guitar as well as anybody who has ever played.
And I'm wondering now
anybody who has ever played it.
List. Yeah. I'm wondering if people's lists have changed now when it comes to.
They have. And I'm promising people like the Beatles, Paul Simon, them who were all on stage when he was doing that. They said it made them. They were looking at each other like, "Are you hearing this shit?" I mean, I'm talking about these as white musicians that's been playing this instrument and are world renowned at them, and they're like, he came on here and clowned, and threw his guitar up in the air when he was through.
Right, like I'm done.
Instead of slamming it.
Yeah, I'm done.
Now they say when he walked off stage, he glanced up to make sure them motherfuckers caught it.
He can go, man. He can definitely go with the guitar, man. Gee, it's not a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when one of the performances, I was waiting for him to smash the guitar, but he never. He don't seem like that.
He's never done that. I don't know. I don't know if he's ever done that.
They don't do that. And I put a note early on that the music would hold up. So on its surface, you know, all things being equal, do y'all think if those songs were played on the radio today with what's there, do you think they'd hold up, A-Trap?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is when people used to express themselves through music. It wasn't about selling records. You sold records because your music was good, not because this was the vibe. This is when you fashioned yourself as a trendsetter. You created a sound that everybody wanted to mimic. You know, Clinton, Stone, James, Prince, Mike, so forth and so on. New Edition. New Edition was kind of like a bubblegummy thing at the beginning, and then they
but Ralph Tresvant, when Ralph Tresvant first hit, they thought, who is this kid that sound like young Michael Jackson?
But these were the trends at the time.
When he was singing Candy Girl, they thought that was Mike. I remember I've been in rooms where old heads was debating who that was, man.
Bro. It's definitely a trend. He's definitely a trendsetter, and I think these just like Let's Go Crazy. If you heard the original lyrics, you'd be shocked. Because the original lyrics are, "We're not gonna let the devil break us down. Let's go crazy for the Lord."
Oh wow!
Really?
But they wouldn't allow that on the radio at the time, on secular radio at the time, so he rewrote it.
Yeah, and Prince is a known Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah. I think it depends on
what witness for Jehovah.
what station? You said you what?
I said I'm a witness for Jehovah.
Jehovah Jireh, remember my brother?
Jehovah Nissi.
All right, so that performance where the kind of the club promoter was mad at him, was that because he just did one song?
Yeah, he was. So Morris was trying to get his girl group on some stage time.
Yeah,
that's why when they first played, they had to play at that club called the Tasty or the Taste.
Yeah. It was a Tasty or something. I think it was a Tasty.
Because he was trying. The club promoter Billy went over to see him. He even threw them a couple of tickets at Prince. Hey, and don't forget to bring a date, whatever. So that's what that was about. And they were saying Prince wasn't drawing like he used to. He had got in his head about his music. And he was like, ain't nobody into this shit but you, man. Ain't nobody in your music but you. Which was to A-Trap's point. He's trying to get them to know him based on his music, So it was a bit eclectic for some folks, And he was just going out there playing one song and bouncing. And a couple of times they threw down and they was like, shit, that's how you do it. You one song and we out,
Right.
Or whatever. But from a club promoter standpoint, shit, I can't say this, man. Your numbers is down and this girl group hot, So after the club promoter saw him that night, he's like, tomorrow night, you better kill it. Don't board day group,
Yeah, it's over.
And so that got Prince thinking introspectively. His dad had shot himself. He had found them old songs. And his dad had found them old songs. And, he put that to the music that Lisa and Wendy wrote. And, she had even the scene where he got through singing Purple Rain and didn't think nobody liked it. Went to go get on his dirt bike motorcycle and pull off, but heard the crowd roaring,
Yeah.
I mean, he was running off stage in them heels too, man. Like people don't talk about that enough.
They are legit heels.
They are really, I'm just gonna say
heels.
Yeah. He doing splits, legit. Dancing.
That's what I said. It was like he's doing it all, man.
Yeah. What's up, Big Illinois in the building? I'll see you in a minute.
Big Illinois, what's up with it, man? A-Trap must ain't gave him his money back.
Alas, $2. He said, imagine being at home on a Saturday morning.
It depends on who you are.
It would have been a bunch of people that would have became Jehovah's Witnesses.
Can we send a link for what? A hot link? Link basket? What kind of link you talking about?
What?
Oh, you may be saying a link to get on the show.
Huh?
Nah, we
gotta pay the fee.
Yeah, we about rounding out, but
send us the cash apples first, then we send the link. That's how that goes.
Rarely Care says I went to a Prince concert in the late '80s. That's when I realized how good of a guitar player he was. But the concert still is one of my favorite, and I've seen a lot of artists.
I envy you, Radicale. I envy you. That's one of the people I wish I saw in concert.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, that's a bucket list right there.
Yeah, that's huge.
Hey, you can scratch it up, man.
Ben don't know how to say that word. Let me read this.
Now, I was trying to hear what
camaraderie between you guys. So, Dorita, I need you to start using. Okay, you can't use these sense words, and Ben gonna read them. You warn him first. You know, this HBCU education we ain't getting our money's worth out of it.
Hey, just put the dashes in between.
She said, I love the camaraderie between you guys. Now, if I need to break that word down for you, I can, Ben. Thank you, Mr.
Would you say
it has been that case since we started this show, just being guests on Ben's podcast to review One Night in Miami. And the camaraderie has been that way ever since.
Yeah.
We don't really like each other, but shit,
it's true.
We good on air.
Behind
the scenes, we arguing contract disputes, all that kind of shit. Fighting about airtime and shit, just like Jess Hilarious now and shit, fighting about airtime on the Breakfast Club. We fighting about the same shit.
Don't put me in that. that was the most ridiculous ish I've seen in a long time.
Man? But it's a publicity stunt, though. They try.
Yeah, that's what I took it as.
Crazy,
yeah. All right, let's give a quick preview for what we're going to review next week.
News to me.
Well, surprise, you're about to find out too at the same time.
It's all about recruitment, and like recruitment don't start when they say start.
Where you go to college is one of the most important decisions you're going to make in your life. Unfortunately, there's other sides of the story.
It's really NFL a bust for so many people whenever the number of kids who are going to get there is really so low.
A lot of the kids in Louisiana come from, places of poverty.
Most of us come from neighborhoods where if you up a couple bands, you winning.
I'm gonna make it out this. I'm gonna make it out this bad environment, and I'm gonna be the one to change the dynamics of my family.
You're always being evaluated. All the time.
Taking it minute by minute, becoming the hero I can't.
This decision is gonna affect not only their kids, their grandkids. And it's not gonna be a perfect decision. They're gonna have bumps along the road.
Talking about somebody 16-year-old trying to make a 4 to a 40-year decision.
I want to retire my mom as soon as I get that first check from the league, so the work is not done.
Prove me wrong, little fella. We'll prove you wrong.
It's not about what you didn't have, what they didn't do. What do you have now? We're not about going backwards.
This is my time to shake. This is my time to break. This is my time to rise. Take a piece of that cake.
Man.
All right. So we met the director at Super Bowl Radio Row. His name is Derek Dark. You will be coming on the show next week as well as we review Blue Chippers, The Next Man Up. It's available on Amazon, Apple, YouTube as well. So
it's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be at what? Where can they watch it at? Because I'm texting a few folks on this right now.
Amazon Prime. It's on Apple, and then it's on YouTube. I think you pay like $3 or something on YouTube. You can watch it. But yeah, it's cool dude from New Orleans, from Louisiana, and so I hit him up, and he's gonna be on.
Yeah, this I literally sent this, and if you got any, like Keisha, I think you got a nephew or something like that that's in athletics right now. But like my cousin, who is literally a blue chipper, being looked at by some like Notre Dame and USC and Lincoln Riley and those kind of people, I literally just texted my uncle and say, hey, have you watched this? Because I think that's got some content in it that needs to be considered.
Yeah. And I think, Keisha, your nephew's at Alabama. I don't know if he's still at Alabama.
Oh, okay. Well,
he's at Alabama, Big Illinois said, if y'all collect 4K disc, I purchased the 40th anniversary release last year.
Oh, okay. Nice. The 40th Prince Purple Rain. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't do something bigger with that, especially since that's a big studio. They could have made some money off that, as far as I was concerned.
Glass of milk, it's a mimosa.
That ain't even close. It ain't even no White Russian or no Black Russian.
Right, not even close.
All right, so let's talk about Prince being able to not just have Warner Brothers, the record label, but also have the movie side of it, because they produced it.
Yeah.
And the budget was $7.2 million.
Yeah.
The box
And for
office
84,
was 70.
Right. That's
for
huge.
84 for a movie like this, that was significant.
Yeah. So, you know, and I'm sure they probably didn't want to do it at first, but you realize it's Prince, and you realize the, you know, what
Well,
they
said
what
that in
the
that
budget level
documentary we
was.
watched.
Oh yeah.
They were saying like, we don't know about this, but I mean, they took a chance and they did it. I mean, it turned out, but no, I can imagine for that time, that money and that time. Oh gosh, that's huge.
Yes, he's starting at wide receiver. He's number 8, Jalen Hill. All right, shout out to him. Hopefully, we'll have a good upcoming year. I know Saban said, "I'm not doing this. I ain't doing this in an NIL."
Oh,
Saban bounced. Even the playing field though. All right, so Sex Shooter, which was the debut single.
Love in your direction. Even
for
they dance
Apollonia
steps was weak,
released
wasn't it?
in 1984. So,
Even their dance steps was weak. Yeah, they wasn't doing nothing but selling, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like more.
What's wrong, A-Trap?
No, it drops.
Okay, I was trying to kill a rutch or something like that.
Rutch. That took me back.
Didn't it?
Oh yeah.
I got an uncle. He pronounced things that like roach or coach, like that.
Yeah. Oh, I've got some family members like that to this day.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Yes. Walmart.
We all got somebody. Y'all got somebody in the family.
Oh yes.
All right. So the moment when I felt like probably one of the most powerful scenes in the movie is when he's looking for his dad. His mom's outside, so obviously she got kicked out or beat up one or the other.
Yeah, he beat her ass. And she was sitting out on the curb.
She kicked
and
out.
Prince walked in the house mad the motherfucker until he heard this beautiful music.
Wait,
now all of a sudden, I done forgot about my mom.
Right. And then, Prince coming in, where you at? Where you at?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody scared of that. Ain't nobody scared of you, Prince.
Little nigga, where you at?
Yeah.
I was like, hey, that's why his dad didn't even look up. His dad was downstairs playing the piano. Like, I didn't hear you. But when he came in there and he seen his dad, and then he asked him, I thought you don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I thought you weren't gonna play anymore.
Yeah. And then he was like, well, the difference between me and you is
does he have them written down?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, that's the difference between me and you. I don't write them down. I don't need to.
Yeah. Because at first, because he was like, is that yours?
But that was a lie, obviously, because he found out.
He found the trunk of all the He's like, of course it's mine. Who else is mine?
Yeah, and then he was shaking, so I don't know if that was they were trying to say like he was sick or he was just like shook.
Who was shaking them? Daddy?
Dad, yeah.
Yeah, shit, he crazy as hell.
Yeah, he ready to slap another nigga in the face.
Yeah,
Parkinson's or something. I don't know.
Nah, he crazy as hell. And he did say that, Keisha. Where are you at, motherfucker? Yeah, it ain't never been no ER and motherfucker said by no black folks ever.
He was.
So he down there at the basement playing the piano. And so he goes, so I just saw mama outside, her head all smashed in. Any idea how she got like that?
It was like, these, nigga, these. If he would have turned around and said that, that would have been it.
Yeah, he got unmad real quick. Shit, this music all I got to do to get out of a fight?
Right.
He should have came up behind him like Ving Rhames did to Tyrese.
Baby boy, yeah.
Man, he ran up on Clarence Williams III. Him and his mom be on that bus stop.
Right.
The next scene would have been the funeral.
Right.
So I was waiting for them to kind of put some closure to it, but obviously he was in the hospital, so I thought they was gonna do a funeral scene, but seeming like he survived.
Yeah,
his wife was there crying on him.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, man, there's so much meat to that whole situation, man. You know, we joking about it and whatnot, but you know, physical abuse, spousal abuse, you know, and stuff like that is no joking matter. But it just shows that even he still was loved his daddy. She was still right there by his side, you know, after all of that, you know. And I'm sure there was some mental illness there. And apparently both his mama and his daddy were musicians who didn't make it. And, you know, he was, you know, I really put what Clarence Williams III's role there was like an athlete who's retired, who doesn't got it anymore, you know, and what they go through. Because you see a lot of spousal abuse from retired athletes, you know, because you retire at such a young age, you know, they 30, 32, and what they've done all their life is over, you know.
Right. Yeah, and he said it, you know, if you just would have believed in me.
Right.
He said something to that effect, which kind of means like, hey, I'm not doing what he felt like. Well, I'm not doing what I used to do. Now I'm doing. It looked like he was working at Luby's.
Shit, he didn't do nothing but smoke cigarettes. Hell, all I know, and drunk that good whiskey. Yeah.
He had a bow tie and a shirt and tucked in. So I was like, what are you?
That was a drinking attire, man.
Yeah, the white folks got drinking jackets. He got a drinking bow tie.
Hey,
a smoking jacket.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
But yeah,
man.
All right, so he does Purple Rain, which you could feel like that level of acting in that moment. You could feel the passion, you could feel the emotion. It was like he was singing to his past father. Is what I mean. You felt it. So that was next level right there.
Yeah, I got chills through that whole last performance. Purple Rain, I Would Die for You, all those songs that he did with, you know,
big side of the movie. You know, closing it out, and that song, like I said, just listening to the lyrics of that song, I mean, it's still a powerful song, you know, and it's still so huge. So
and viewed as one of the best Super Bowl performances of all time, considering the fact that it is literally raining while he's singing Purple Rain at the Super Bowl.
Right,
you know?
Exactly.
No better than that.
Yeah, it's pretty epic.
All right, so let's get to some final thoughts. Purple Rain, finally reviewed it on this show and watched it. So we're gonna go to A-Trap first. Final thoughts and Mike rating.
There's a good expression of art, life, ups and downs of life, and how you deal with it, and the struggles that people have in life. You know, with parental struggles, lack of support, lack of being able to communicate yourself, chasing up a dream, the outside and ancillary things that'll bother you while you're doing this. It was a wonderful situation, and you know, when you look at the story and you take it in and apply it to your life. So yeah, you'll really be able to, you know, you'll hopefully you'll understand yourself and other people's struggle as you watch a movie like this.
Yeah, I mean, this was Prince. I mean, at his finest. I mean, I wish he would have done more films. I don't think he did anything else. But
Under the Cherry Moon,
he did.
Under the Cherry Moon. Under the Cherry Moon, and he had Morris Day, and I mean not Morris Day. Jerome was in that with him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a black and white
watch
movie.
that too, then.
It's a black and white movie.
And now.
Graffiti Bridge didn't do
Graffiti Bridge, maybe. And one of the classic lines in that movie is where they gave this white girl that he was messing with a piece of paper, and it had on there record store. And so he says, "Say this," and she goes, "Record store." And they just laugh and what is record store? And then they say I'm going to the record store. So I thought that was genius. Yeah, Under the Cherry Moon. It was not nearly the hit that Purple Rain was.
I don't think Graffiti Bridge was either, but
that was 1986. What'd you say?
I said that movie was Morning Breath bad.
Yeah.
And then he did Sign of the Times, which is maybe like
that was just a
concert film.
Yeah, that's on Peacock. I think it was just a concert.
Graffiti Bridge, and then 3 Chains of Gold. 3 Chains of Gold. Directed, and they had to make sure they put in that one a direct-to-video film.
Mm. But I watched Under the Cherry Moon on the strength of Purple Rain, you know.
Yeah. Hey, no problem, Wonga.
Wonga,
hey,
you remember watching too, man.
It's a podcast. You can always go back and watch it, like A-Trap always say.
Yeah, he did the soundtrack on Batman. A couple of songs from it. I can't remember exactly which. And I don't know if he had a cameo in there or not, but he definitely did the soundtrack.
I know it was like the Bat Dance, and then there was something else, another song he did. But
yeah. Prince was hot there.
Yeah. What was your rating? I don't know if you were done yet.
Oh yeah, I was done. I forgot to be ready. I would say it's a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Whoops.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed it. Like I said, I honestly wasn't even gonna watch it because I've seen it so many times. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna rewatch it anyway because it's such
some stuff that you missed, probably.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah. No, really enjoyed it. Kind of like what A-Trap was saying. There was just things that he was juggling. You know, it was the writing pressures and the home pressures, and then the girlfriend, and then Morris Day stepping in between, and then the boss on the job, you know, riding your back. Then you got inner workings of your band members like, hey, this is our music. Well, you don't want to play our music, and then we'll leave. And then so, yeah, a lot going on, a lot happening. So definitely enjoyed it. Once again, it's always a great watch for me. Like I said, my mom had it on VHS, and I believe I have to ask her. I do believe she drugged me back to the movie theater to see this, but I'm not really 100% on that. But yeah, I have to give it I'll give it a 4. It's good. I give it a 4 though. But yeah, enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a staple. Purple Rain, Prince. I mean, it's a good movie.
It's a black cinema classic. It's up there with one of those.
Which you don't get to say since this is your first time watching this shit. You leave that
I'm just saying in general.
I thought Ben had actually seen this before until somebody said that.
Nope.
The crash.
And all the bandmates saying, you know, I'm gonna leave, and then they there the next day. When they on stage, they're there. So y'all niggas ain't left. You still there.
We here, baby.
Says, I think.
Where's my coat?
I think Under the Cherry Moon was a good movie, but people expected it to be as good as Purple Rain. When it didn't meet expectations, they considered a flop. And
it was weird, you know, because it was all in black and white, you know.
That's one of those, you know, as a risk taker, you know, you trying something, you know, trying something out, see if it's stuck. And Purple Rain was really the same thing. So, but I mean, I just have to watch that just to watch it.
For reference context.
You ain't gonna get through it, man.
IMDb gave this 6.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 73%. I came into this with a 4 mic, but I was taking some credit off for the acting, but I thought A-Trap made a good point about it, you know, and saying don't hold them to that necessarily. So as a result of doing the review, I bumped mine up to a 4.5.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. Appreciate you, Keisha. Great show, gents. Let me know when y'all do the Mac.
Oh gosh.
That's another one I ain't seen, so we might have to do that one too.
Boy. Yeah. When we do the Mac, I got a cold.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. For me, being my first time watching it, I was looking forward to it. My wife couldn't. She couldn't do it. But I felt like this was Prince. You know, if you look at an artist, you look at what he brought to music. This is him. And then Morris Day really like made the film. A-Trap, you was right. A-Trap said this last week. Like, you can love Morris Day more.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just seeing my parents' collection of albums. They had the Prince. They had the Morris Day. So this kind of brought back some of that nostalgia, listening to some of their albums and music and everything. So I started off with a 3. But I'm gonna bring it up to a 4. I agree with A-Trap's comment and all the input. So
how dare you?
4. And how dare you?
Yeah, come out with a 3. Who the hell do you think you are?
Motherfucker, where you at?
Yeah, right.
Where are you? Where are you?
Where are you, motherfucker?
He didn't even respond.
Yeah.
And that tweet spin around. Chill, Prince.
He should have said, now,
chill, kid.
Don't let me rise up on you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Next week, Blue Chippers, The Next Man Up. Definitely go watch that because I believe it's a good documentary, but also support our brother Derek Dark is his name, the director. He'll be on the show as well next week. What's coming up on, or what happened today, on End of the Bench?
I did a show called What's Natural. And with a lot of tumultuous things happening with the federal government, where you got to deal with enacting fascism, you have to do what's natural. And what's natural is to come together. You know, we're fed all these images of separation, inability to come together in a communal. That's not really what's natural, and that's not happening as frequently as you would like. Just because you watch the news and you see things, you have to always take into mind, if it bleeds, it leads. They need you to pay attention to this. After 92, they took away the parameters of the news. The news used to be a standalone entity that networks paid for. Now news is a for-profit business. So don't pay attention to what is being given to you. Pay attention to what you know and realize. And then once you do that, you'll galvanize. You know, it's a reason with fascism on the horizon. It's a reason for them taking away things like the DOE. People think, oh, well, that's just the Department of Education. That's just the schools. No, the DOE pays for Head Start, teachers' aid, work study. That's one thing that people don't really realize. The work study program is allowing, it's a young man or young woman in class right now. Their work study is helping pay for their education. There's so much money that goes into DOE. These HBCUs around the country, me and you, those are germane to me and you. Those institutions and smaller institutions, PWIs, will close due to the lack of DOE engagement. And if you remove the DOE, have those institutions, and you dumb down the community. Once you dumb down the community, fascism could reign supreme, because now you have less readers, you have less knowledge, and you'll put the people by and large at a disadvantage. You know, we've been fed a line of work. They go to college and do this, but fascism does not allow you to enhance yourself, period, whether it be academically or vocationally. What you have is a populace that is dependent upon a fascist dictatorial rule, and you will suffer the consequence. You think you're struggling now due to economics. The only thing that will potentially save us is the enemies of the country are interacting as well. They're reacting to the smallest portion of the population on the planet. When you have people like China going, instead of what the United States had was the Panama Canal, which allowed people like China to get to the west faster. You meant the east faster, right? They're going through Mexico, which will strengthen Mexico, which will stop fascism, because at that point you have more powerful Canada, more powerful Mexico. Now you have to react as if it was 9/11 again, because now you have to say, hey, we're not the big dogs anymore. We're the lead dogs, but we're not the big dogs. And then at that point, you will find yourself in a better situation. So it's just, yes, Doge, Department of or reorganizing the government. That's just a play on words for that clown's Dogecoin, and the fact that he is a government contractor that is keeping him afloat. Seeing how the major portion of his portfolio has taken last Tuesday, took a
Yeah. Right. All right, so tune in tomorrow, the End of the Bench Media on YouTube. Also subscribe to BS3 Network, Queen 3 and King, and the Fourcast, Queen 3 and King tomorrow.
Yeah, we're still on spring break, so Ben will pick something wonderful from the past and replay
it. All right, we in there. All right, well, thank you everybody for tuning in again next week.
Much appreciated. Shout out to BS3 Network's Twitter page, or X page, should I say?
Yeah.
I went crazy today.
Yeah, and Wanga said that spin he did after saying, "Where are you?"
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, man. Ain't nobody you mad like that. You're not doing no spin like you doing a dance. You're not doing no pirouette. You're not. Where are you?
Spell pirouette.
Hey, not even gonna try. Ain't gonna happen. All right, A-Trap, go ahead and close this out.
All right, I'm gonna close this out with a joke. Okay. How do you put a elephant in the refrigerator?
One piece at a time.
No, you push them in the refrigerator and close the door. How you put a giraffe in the refrigerator?
Put them in the refrigerator and close the door.
Well, you take the elephant out and put the giraffe in the refrigerator. It's this woman traveling across a lake swimming, but the lake is filled with alligators. Next thing you know, this lion, all the lions in the forest, in the jungle, they said, "We having a party. We having a party. We don't want all the animals to come." It's a man in an airplane with 1,000 bricks. 5,000 bricks, one on fall. How many bricks left?
He had how many bricks?
He had 5,000.
1,000 bricks, one on fall.
1,000 bricks.
999.
999. So back to the lady swimming across the lake with all the alligators. She swam across the entire lake and didn't get bit. How did that happen?
Because of the bricks?
No, all the alligators was at the party. One of the bricks fell down and hit her in the head.
It's all about recruitment, and recruitment don't start when they say start.
Where you go to college is one of the most important decisions you're going to make in your life. Unfortunately, there's other sides of the story.
It's really NFL a bust for so many people whenever the number of kids who are going to get there is really so low.
A lot of the kids in Louisiana come from, places of poverty.
Most of us come from neighborhoods where if you up a couple bands, you winning.
I'm gonna make it out this. I'm gonna make it out this bad environment, and I'm gonna be the one to change the dynamics of my family.
You're always being evaluated.
all the time.
Taking it minute by minute, becoming the hero I can't.
This decision is going to affect not only their kids, their grandkids. And it's not going to be a perfect decision. They're going to have bumps along the road.
Talking about somebody 16-year-old trying to make a 4 to a 40-year decision.
I want to retire my mom as soon as I get that first check from the league, so the work is not done.
Prove me wrong, little fella. We'll prove you wrong.
It's not about what you didn't have, what they didn't do. What do you have now? We're not about going backward.
This is my time to shake. This is my time to break. This is my time to rise. Take a piece of that cake.